Hello, welcome back. I am Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I was doing pretty good till I realized I owe you an apology. So the MSM and Magnesium Cream that came out last week, and I promised to put the recipe on there, and somebody asked me to put the recipe on there, and I did. But in between those times, I recopied the recipe because, it was kind of a disaster, and lost the original, probably threw the original. And when I made it again, I realized something was wrong with the recipe because that was not the original recipe. No. So it is corrected, and it says corrected. So if you copied it and it didn't say corrected, you need to go back and do it again or recopy it. But so in the midst of this, I made it and I went, what the heck is this? Like, this is awful feeling. This is not, this is not what I did. This is no. So then I was laying in bed at 5:30 in the morning thinking about my footage, right? Like what was on the video actually, and if I still had the videos, and I hadn't deleted them yet. So I went and looked, and I hadn't deleted them yet, and reviewed the coverage, and realized I had way too much emulsifying wax in the batch I made. Since I messed up and possibly screwed up somebody's batch, I don't know, nobody's yelled at me yet, but I'm going to show you how to fix it, how to fix your lotions. Don't throw your lotions. If they're too runny or too thick or not right because you messed something up, don't throw them away, okay? You can fix this. It is totally fixable. Seriously, totally fixable. So that's what we're doing today. We're fixing lotions, whether they're too runny or if they're too thick. I mean, really, it's the same as too runny. Same process, a little bit. But, or messing up the recipe like I did. So that's what we're doing today. 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. And don't be too mad at me, okay? Let's go check out this video. So lotion separation, or lotion that just is too runny, right? You make that batch and it's just too runny. So what I do is I will add another 2% emulsifying wax, stick it in what I call a double boiler. It's just a pot on the stove with a little rack and some water. And keep an eye on it, okay? Don't want to get it too high. So if you have fragrance oils, essential oils, your preservative you might have to add more depending on your temp. Optifin Plus, I can go up to 176, but I'm not going that high. And as it heats up, it gets thinner, like you just saw. So 150, I don't go above 150 because the emulsifying wax will melt at that point. Or if you want, add water to it if you want to thin it out a little more. And then just do what you normally do. Hit it with a stick blender for 2 minutes and your lotion is saved. Just make sure about your preservative, if you have to add more or not. Okay, fixing the recipe. So you basically did what I did and you put too much of one ingredient in than you were supposed to, or 2 ingredients or whatever, okay? There's a very simple way to fix this. Basically, you have to figure out how much of that other product you put in, or simply take the whole batch times 2 and adjust the messed up item, okay? That's what I'm going to do here. So the first part is to put the batch that I messed up into a container that I can easily melt down like we did on the first one, okay? And make sure it's big enough so that at the end, one of your containers, this will be the container I'm mixing in, okay? So you want to make sure it's big enough to hold all your product at the end. I just threw it in this jar for overnight. If you do that, make sure you sterilize the jar. So starting over, I doubled my batch. I actually doubled it the first time, but so to get to where I needed to be with my ingredients, I needed to have a triple batch, which is just basically adding one new batch with the adjustments added, okay? So I go through and I add all my ingredients exactly how I did before. You know, your oils on one side, your waters and all that stuff on the other, you know, your phase 1, your phase 2, your cool stuff, your, you know, cooling phase stuff ready, all prepped and ready to go. Okay? Just as I did before. However, when I get to the one ingredient, which is the emulsifying wax in this one, when I get to the one ingredient that I messed up, that's when I adjust it down. Okay, so let's pretend it's 1 ounce of emulsified wax per batch. Okay, and I put in 2.5 instead of 1. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up to 3 batches, right? 3 batches. So I should have 3 ounces of wax, emulsifying wax. But since I only have 2.5 already, which is more than one whole recipe, I'm going to add just the 0.5. Okay, I'm going to short it. I'm going to put in what I missed or what I over added and make that adjustment with that one product right there. Now, if it's your water phase, you adjust it in the water phase. If it's the oil phase, it's the oil phase. If it's the cool down, if you messed up on your preservative and you didn't add enough, you know, well, the preservative you could probably just mix in, like warm it up a little bit and then just add it. But you know what I'm saying here. This is like major recipe malfunction, okay? Okay, so I'm going to warm this up just a little bit, not totally, but just get it started, okay? And that's actually not that hot. This MSM, see, it's 108, really liquefies. If it gets, it's kind of like body butter. It will melt. It will literally melt. So the water's 154 and the oils are 172, and I'll just let that cool just a little bit so they're very close to equal, kind of like soaping they tell you to do. And so here, just same as all lotions, blend the oil with the water phase and stick blend for at least 2 minutes. I like 2. If it's a really big batch, I do 3 just to make sure it's good and emulsified. Here's what my big pot looks like. See, it separates as it heats. It's a weird thing. But so then you want to add your additives to your small batch. Your arrowroot powder, your fragrance, your preservative, your whatever you have that you can add at the temperature it's at. If it's something that you need to add when it's a lot cooler, then just wait, but make sure you add it to your final batch. So I'm going to stick blend this one more time for 1 more minute, and making sure that my big bowl is close in temp to my smaller bowl. They're usually around 120 by this time. And then I'm going to add them together. Just dump them together and stick blend for a good minute, 2 minutes if you're really worried. I did 2 minutes, see? I gave you that. Nope, I'm doing 2 minutes. And seriously, then just continue on as you normally do your lotion. This MSM Magnesium Lotion, it needs to be cool. So I will keep stick blending every 15 minutes just for like 30 seconds till it'll be cool and it'll be thick. And that is seriously how easy it is to fix your lotion batches. Do not throw them out. They are savable. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.